Well, hi everyone. All right, we are going to be graphing again. Okay, this time, and I think you got some of the ideas from the Desmos activity, but we are going to be graphing sine and cosine functions. And today, or this day, we're going to work on three aspects of it for the most part, and then the following day, like Monday, we will be working on a fourth aspect. And if you're seeing this, I'm presuming it's Friday here. This is the plan. And the functions that we're going to be dealing with y equals a times sine of bx plus c plus k and we'll do the same thing except with cosine. Those will be our parent functions. Okay, now the steps for graphing that we will follow. One, we are going to flip it if necessary. After we flip it, if it's not necessary, we won't flip it. After we flip it, we're going to sketch it. After we sketch it, we're going to label it. Okay, and after we label it, we're going to shift it. Okay, so I might start in pencil, especially if I need to shift, and then I will write my final answer in pen. But I just want to end. There are certain things about this in the equation. A, or the absolute value of A, is going to be the amplitude of our graph. The period, 2 pi over b, 2 pi over this b here is going to be our period. K is going to be our vertical shift. And then we have a thing called the phase shift, and we will save that. I'm going to say save for Monday when we get back together. We'll save that part for Monday, but these are in the formula. These are these coefficients and constants in the formula that we're getting these from. So I got the steps that we're going to use for graphing, and then kind of the meanings that'll help us when it's time to label it. So let's just get into it. Let's first of all, I'm going to do y equals negative 2 cosine of 2x. Okay. I'm going to draw my axes. Okay. Remember that cosine kind of goes like this. Remember that. Well, a negative value for the coefficient means we are going to flip it. So I am going to You know, normally we go down. Okay, we're going to go up like so. Come down. Okay. And then we are going to label it. I have flipped it from what it usually is. I sketch what I flipped. And then we're going to label it. Okay? The period, it would be good to identify, the period is 2 pi over, this is the b value. The c value is 0, the k value is 0, so it's 2 pi over 2, which is pi. The period is pi, so I'm going to label this. 1 period of this, there's pi. I'm going to half it, pi over 2. This is a fourth, pi over 4. And then halfway between a half and a whole is 3/4, so 3 pi over 4. I've labeled it. Okay? And then I'm actually now going to identify the amplitude. Is equal to the absolute value of -2, which is 2. So this is 2 here, and down here is -2. So I'm just going to redraw. I may not have left enough room here, so I'll draw another period cosine here to here, and this is -pi. This is -pi over 2, half, a quarter, -pi over 4, and 3/4, -3 pi over 4. So I've drawn 2 periods of this, and that is the graph. That's how the graph is. So we'll just draw the general shape and then do our labels. That's how we will, when we have to graph. I hope you saw that. All right. Let's do another one. I think I can fit it on here. I'm going to graph y equals 3 sine of x minus 3. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, well, I'm going to graph it. I do not have to flip it. I'm going to sketch it without being flipped. I'm going to label it, and then I am going to shift this one. We do have a vertical shift on this one. So, draw my y-axis, draw my x-axis. I'm going to draw a period, and then I think I will draw another period. I just ran out of room up here, so a little more room here. There's another period, and I'll draw another period this direction. Okay. Now, I've sketched it. I'm going to label it. Here's a period. The period in this one is 2 pi over 1. It's sine of 1x minus 3. So the period's 2 pi, which is what we're used to from our parent function. Half of that, then we do half, and then we do quarters. Half of 2 pi is pi. Half of pi is pi over 2. Halfway between pi and 2 pi is 3 pi over 2. Okay, so I've got I'm going by pi over 2 here. This one is 4 pi, 5 pi over 2. This is 6 pi over 2, which is 3 pi. This is 7 pi over 2. This is 8 pi over 2, which is 4 pi. Okay. This is negative pi over 2. Not sure I thought I had enough, but negative pi, negative 3 pi over 2, negative 2 pi. Okay. All right. My amplitude is 3. So the amplitude is 3, and down here is negative 3. Okay. And I should have done this in pencil. I meant to do it. I have the silly thing here, and I forgot to do it. But I do have a vertical shift, negative 3, and that's just like when we were doing any of our other functions. We're going to move this all down 3 units. But it's kind of hard to do without seeing it. Okay, so here's negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So I really got to get down to here, don't I? So right here's negative 6. And right here is 0. All right, my final graph is going to be in red. So I'm going to move this down 3 units here. Move this one down 3 units. And move this down 3 units. Move this down 3 units. 2 lines is 3 units the way I drew this. 3 units here. 3 units here. 3 units here. 3 here. Oops. 3 here. And 3 here. Move this one down 3 units. Move this down 3 units. Move this down 3 units. All right. So when I draw my curve, after the vertical shift, it's all on that, isn't it? Okay. All right. My final answer, I'm going to, maybe you guys can bring highlighters with you. After we do our shifting, it'd be nice to have a highlighter here to highlight our final curve. It's right here. And I might even, I got my x-axis here, but really my midline is for the, right there. Okay, that's my final answer. This helped me get there. It's easy to move this whole thing down 3 units when I can look at what I'm moving. All right, so you got to figure out the period, figure out the amplitude after you've drawn your sketch, and figure out if you needed to flip it or not. Let's do one more, and that will be, we'll go with a hard one now, y equals negative 4 sine of pi over 2x, put that in parentheses, plus 1. All right, draw my axes. That was nice and straight. Okay, there's my y-axis. Okay, it is negative, so we are going to flip. You flip it if necessary. Remember, you sketch it after you've figured out if you're flipping it or not. And then you label it. And then you move it or whatever. Shift it. That's a better word. Shift. Flip, sketch, label, shift. All right. I am going to flip this one, and I'm flipping the sine function. So, and I'm kind of anticipating the amplitude's 4, so I'm going to do it in pencil. Okay, so I'm going to do it in pencil. So rather than going up and then down, I'm going down and then up. 1, 2, 3. There's one period here. Let's do that again. There's 2 periods. And then let's go this direction. And I kind of cheated a little bit because I was looking at the amplitude and I got these lines here. It ain't cheating. All right. It's anticipating. So that's in pencil. Although I write so hard, it's hard to tell. Now, I'm going to label it. I'm going to label and okay, the period, the amplitude is 4. I kind of knew that before I got started on it. Now the period, this time, is 2 pi over b. Well, b is pi over 2. Okay, now this will give us an interesting result. So I'm going to multiply it by 2 over pi and multiply the top by 2 over pi, and the bottom is just 1, and the top is 4 pi over pi, which is 4. Or you can take 2 pi divided, but the period is equal to 4. All right? There's no pi involved. 4 radians is the period. No pi, just 4, straight 4. Half of 4 is 2, half of 2 is 1. Halfway between 2, whoops, that's not what a 1 looks like. That is. Halfway between 2 and 1 is 3. So I'm just labeling by 1s here. 5, 6, 7, 8. Negative 1, this is 0. Negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. All right. And do we have to shift? Yes, we do. We have to shift everything up a unit. And I want to take just these significant ones and shift up a unit. Final answer in blue. Take this one, shift it up a unit. Take this one, shift it up a unit. Take this one, shift it up a unit. This one 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 up a unit. And this one up a unit. And that one up a unit. Here and here. All right. And draw the curves and hit the spots. Shifted up a unit. Okay, now stop there. All right, and I will highlight the final function after I have sketched it. Okay, so I'm not making a table or anything. I'm using what we know about the shape and just flipping, sketching, because I know what the shape's going to be. Then I just draw the labels. And then any shifting I have to do after I've drawn the labels. There is one more kind of shift. It's a phase shift, which is left and right, which I'm saving for the next class. All right. I think I have given you a little bit of bookwork to do. God bless you all, and I will see you soon.